We are learning more today about the suspect in last week's mass shooting in Maine. Authorities say the local sheriff had been warned about the suspect's mental health nearly half a year before those killings occurred in Lewiston. Peter Armstrong is in our bureau in Washington this week, and he's live with me this morning. What exactly did authorities know leading up to the mass shooting, Peter, about the suspect, the shooter?
Yeah, good morning, Heather. We really are starting to piece together what was known and who it was known by as the local police and state investigators really start to dig into what happened leading up to this. So we now know that Robert Card, his family was raising this alarm. Specifically, they alerted the local sheriff a full 5 months ago that they had real concerns about his mental health and his access to firearms. We now know that that sheriff's office says that they reached out to Card's Army Reserve unit. And then yesterday, the sheriff, a guy named Joel Mary, he said that his office was assured by the reserve unit that they would speak to Card and they would make sure that he got the medical attention he needed. And this information that we got yesterday is just the latest detail in a complete string of warnings that were issued in this case. The Associated Press reported over the weekend that a police alert was issued in mid-September asking police to be on the lookout for Card. That reportedly came after he made threats against his base and against some fellow soldiers. So we're told they stepped up patrols around the base. They even visited Card's home. But when he didn't turn up, it seems that law enforcement just sort of moved on.
Peter, you said state officials are investigating as well. What are we hearing at the state level about this?
Yeah, look, there are some pretty tough questions about this. There's a growing sense of anger on the ground in Maine that something should have been done. But officials are also saying that, look, they've got to complete the whole investigation before they can draw any conclusions. Let's take a listen here to Maine's Governor Janet Mills.
They're continuing to respond and continuing to investigate who knew what when, and we want to get at the best answer to how can we prevent something like this from happening, and that includes why did it happen in the first place, and what what measures may have been in place that weren't used or were used, and that's what we'll get to the bottom of.
So obviously some tough questions there, not just for the governor from the reporters you're hearing there, but from people on the ground saying, look, how on earth is it possible that all of this was known before Robert Card stepped into that bowling alley and opened fire, leaving 18 dead, 13 wounded. So a lot of questions, a lot of emotion, and hopefully, Heather, we will get more information as this investigation does move forward.
Peter Armstrong, thank you very much. Live in Washington for us today.